There have been a lot of changes in Colorado Springs over the years, and we are not moving.
So we're going to give you the lowdown, the skinny, and the truth behind Colorado Springs and why we are staying put.
Welcome back to Living Local in Colorado Springs. And on today's episode, we wanted to break down some of the reasons why people think it might be a good idea to move out of Colorado Springs. But in our personal opinion, this is a place to stay and also a place to move to. One of the first things that we wanted to talk to you guys about today is your housing options and the variability with the housing market here, as well as a personal story of ours that happened really just last year in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, and we're real estate agents, so of course we're going to talk about the housing market, right? Want to get into our personal story first?
I mean, yeah, that's totally fine. Just to be super transparent with you guys, because we think that's super important. Last year, around this time in June of 2024, we were actually looking at moving to Texas for some family reasons. If you guys are returning viewers, you've heard us talk about our son who lives in Texas. And long story short, we were all planning to move there. So we had a buyer for our personal forever home in the same community that we're in, but it was everything that we wanted and then some. And we decided to go under contract with our buyers to sell our house to our buyers. When we decided that we were not moving to Texas, that left us in a spot where we had, 30 days to figure out where we were going to end up moving to?
Yeah. And I think too, like before we get too much more into the details of it, some things that I noticed like very, very quickly when shopping out of Colorado Springs, because we are born and raised here. I've lived a few other places for a few years, but I never purchased. I lived in Florida for a few years. I never purchased a house in Florida. And then I lived in Washington State, didn't purchase a house in Washington State. So I don't know necessarily like their actual market. But when we have amazing referral partners in Texas. We actually have amazing referral partners everywhere. But when we started to shop in Texas, one of the biggest things that I noticed is that there are no basements, right? Colorado has basements. It's very, very common for basements. The exterior of the houses were completely different. Everything for the most part was all brick, which I love. I think it's so super beautiful. Aesthetic. Yeah. But then there's also there's very few, like you can only do so much with brick. So I found that like a lot of them just kind of looked exactly the same. Here in Colorado, we have our siding goes from like vinyl to brick to stucco, concrete. I mean, just all kinds of different, it's very wide. So those were definitely some things that I noticed right away about the houses in itself that were very, very different. And then the other thing that we kind of found crazy, because you always see, I mean, I know if you guys are watching our channel, you are someone who scrolls or looks on social media videos, right? And so you look at houses, I'm just going to use Texas for an example because that's all I know. But their houses look absolutely stunning for so affordable. And then
you see their property taxes.
Then you look at the property taxes and you're like, holy crapola. I got in trouble last time for saying a naughty word, so I'll say crapola. But it's insane compared to what Colorado Springs taxes are. And so yes, you may get a more affordable house, but yet you're paying the same amount in your mortgage, and that amount's going towards taxes versus going towards your appreciation for your house. Anyway, those are just a few things that when it comes to the difference between houses here in Colorado Springs and then, for example, Texas, that I found that were very different. So anyway, Sean will continue with our story.
When we were looking, so basically we went from our large, big forever home, and then we were looking at what our next option was going to be since we were staying here in Colorado Springs. So long story short, we basically were able to find the same home, same builder, I should say, smaller layout, but it's actually perfect for us. Our daughter is older. She's doing the boyfriend thing, living with him basically. Our son...
No longer cool, so she doesn't stay here very often.
Our son's here part-time, but we were able to, in a short period of time, during a market that was fairly challenging at our price point, able to secure a home that we felt comfortable living in. And if you're moving from Texas or California or Florida, whatever your price range is that you're currently living in or your mortgage payment, we should probably talk about that more so than what price range you're currently in. whatever that mortgage payment is, reach out to us so that we can explain what the housing costs associated in Colorado Springs actually look like. Because for us, looking at Colorado Springs to Texas, $300,000 homes look great until you factor in those property taxes, and it's just as expensive as a $500,000 home here. So there are some different things that can vary, HOAs, no HOAs, but if you are looking at moving to the Colorado Springs area, or if you're looking at staying in the Colorado Springs area, that's one of the things that we highly encourage you to look at. We just had some friends looking at going to Florida as well until they saw what flood insurance looked like. So there is so many factors that you don't see when you're scrolling through Zillow that can affect what your house payment looks like. So be sure to reach out to us. And this is one of the reasons why we are staying in Colorado Springs, is because while housing has gone higher over the past 10 years, it's gone higher pretty much everywhere. You can still find housing options here anywhere from, I mean, literally $250,000. We actually have a condo that's available right now for $280,000, all the way up to multi-million-dollar homes with acreage and whatever you need. So the options are just very large.
Well, and I will say, if you're scrolling on Zillow, you guys, it's very deceiving. We know that it's the #1 platform that people are looking at, even though we have an amazing website where you can look at for free. But the biggest thing with Zillow is their whole goal is to get your information, right? And then sell your information, unfortunately. What they'll do is on the little mortgage calculator, they'll automatically put it as though you're putting 20% down. And you guys, big shocker, you don't have to put 20% down. You can actually put as low as like 3.5, or you can even go with one of our down payment assistants and put literally $1,000 down. So aside from that, don't just look at that calculator. Don't look online. Call us and we can help you kind of figure out what your buying power would actually be, and then what that equals into a house. Because I do think that that's really important, because especially if you're coming from a different state, what your mortgage is being broken down to, it could change by so many different variables here in Colorado.
All right, enough about houses and mortgages. It's time.
Probably still go back there, but
it's time to talk about something a little bit different, but at the same time, something that a lot of our viewers that reach out to us about moving to Colorado Springs, it is super important to them. And that is the fact that we have 4 seasons here in Colorado Springs. They can come at really any time during the year, but we do technically have 4 dedicated seasons. We were actually just talking to some of our friends that are potentially looking at moving here from Georgia, and it was high on their list that they really wanted the 4 seasons. And there have been so many other people that we've talked to about it as well. For people like us who are natives, one of the biggest things that we have found why people dislike this is because they just don't take part in the winter activities. But I can say that it is a nice break from 100 degrees to get down into the 50s occasionally. Like today is a high of 57 and we're in May, so it's kind of nice to beat we got up to 85 last week?
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
So the temperature variance is great. You are starting to see the flowers come to life. You're starting to see people's lawns come to life. So 4 seasons is one of the reasons why we are staying here in Colorado Springs, and something that we have noticed is super important to our viewers as well.
Well, and I think too, what comes with 4 seasons is you get 4 seasons to be able to experience life in a different way. And I know, and we've talked about this a lot, you guys. And so if you follow our channel, just be patient with us. But I think it is important. And I think it's really, really good on a lot of mental health, because you have the 4 seasons, and that does play, having 300 days of sunshine, it does play with your vitamin D, and that plays with your whole headspace. But I love being able to, during the summer, we do go on hikes. So just be prepared. You're going to see a lot of those type of videos coming soon, because our weather is going to be gorgeous. We're going to get out more. And I also kind of love our winters to where it doesn't feel so busy. You get to just kind of have hot cocoa, buy a fire, chill, but yet still be able to go out and work and build a snowman.
Yeah, with that being said, all you people that have warm weather all year round, Colorado Springs doesn't shut down. We still go to work. We still have school.
Yes.
It's 2-hour delays for school. Sometimes they'll shut down, but in Colorado Springs, it's rare. So Don't expect to be getting out of work for free when it snows.
Yeah. And one thing that we're going to do, it's on our bucket list this summer, is because even though we are born and raised here in Colorado, I think I went snowboarding and skiing a handful of times. And that was when I was a little bit younger. I was in Girl Scouts and we did a skiing trip there.
We've been together.
I know. Hold on. I was going to get there.
30 years ago.
Yeah. That's how long it's been since I've like actively done it. I did it in Girl Scouts and then I did it a little bit after high school and then a little bit in my 20s. And then there was like this huge break because of life. And then Sean and I went one time.
We did go one time. Sean went very fast and fell very hard.
Yeah, but the kids have never went. And I didn't even realize I wasn't paying attention, I guess. And that was one of the things that Preston said that he wants to go do this winter. So we will definitely get some footage of probably Vail or Breckenridge. What is it, Beaver Creek?
Sure. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
I don't know where she wants to go yet. We'll find out.
But that's the great thing, though, about Four Seasons is that you literally could go do something different. And they're very different. Like, we're going to go whitewater rafting. Can't wait to do that again. But you have all of these different seasons, which brings different weather temperatures, which allows you to be able to actively go enjoy different types of things for each season.
Yeah, and even if you can't get to the mountains, the great thing about living in Colorado Springs, you can see them every single day and you can see them year round. It's late May at the time of this recording, and Pikes Peak is tremendously snow-capped. It is super crazy. It'll have snow on it through June, so it's super appealing to look at. You're sitting there sunny and 75 and you have a snow-capped, humongous freaking mountain. So that's something that I enjoy every single day. And then, like Crystal was mentioning, the variance in what you can do. In what city or state can you go fishing and then hiking and then biking, snowboarding, skiing, whitewater rafting, 14ers, mountain climbing, bouldering? I mean, there's literally endless possibilities when you have Four Seasons, and it also allows you to experience different things. We haven't gone snowboarding or skiing very much, so we're going to do that again this year. We don't have to plan a trip out of state to go somewhere, to book a hotel, to do all the, like, there is so much to do within a very short drive of Colorado Springs, and the Four Seasons just gives you the ability to do different things at different times of the year. And it also, in my opinion, keeps things exciting. You know, when you can't have that instant gratification of a sunny 75 day, so you have to wait for it, and then when it comes, it just is like, this is what I've been waiting for. It's almost like a vacation every 3 to 4 months.
So speaking of little mini trips, I am all for taking little mini trips.
Or big trips.
I'm already planning our summer vacation because why not? But let's talk about day trips, because obviously we could talk about a million things that we can kind of do outside, or in different areas. But what about just like a quick day trip?
Yeah, it could be a 15-minute drive, it could be a 30-minute drive, it could be an hour drive. But again, in Colorado Springs, which is another reason why we're staying here, there are very few places where you can drive an hour to go to a lake or 30 minutes to go to small town Manitou Springs and do your shopping and do the incline while you're at it. Or just a little bit further than that, you can go to the Great Sand Dunes, which is super cool, or a hot spring. Like, there are so many places that you can go within a very short hour to 2 hour drive, or even less. Garden of the Gods is basically on our back door. Depending on where you live, it can be 5 minutes away. It can be, at most in Colorado Springs, probably 30 minutes away.
I'd say like 42.
In Colorado Springs? No chance.
No, not in Colorado.
We're in Colorado Springs. Yeah, but we're in Peyton. We're just outside of Colorado Springs, so that doesn't count. If you're in Colorado Springs, you can get to Garden of the Gods very quickly, regardless. 30 minutes, 5 minutes, it's you can see it in half the city. So Garden of the Gods is a great day trip to take your kiddos to.
Well, and I love, which we need to do more this summer, I love Pueblo Lake. It's big enough. It's a little murky,
yeah, a little bit.
Definitely not like Caesar Blue or anything.
We have seen much nicer lakes throughout the United States. Don't get us wrong on that, but it is close. You can take a boat. You can take big boat, jet skis.
You can take just camping, like fold up chairs and just go chill take floaties, pack some lunch, because there's hardly nothing around there. So bring your own food, bring water, because Pueblo, you guys, even though it's an hour away from Colorado Springs, it is freaking hot.
so much hot.
Like desert hot, which is just weird and crazy. So if you're coming from Arizona, that would probably actually be a little bit cooler than Arizona, but it feels like that just deep heat. But it's fun because they have cliffs that you can jump off of. They have trails that you can just kind of walk around the lake with. You can go boating, you can go just lay out, you can just go hang out, and it's an hour away, hour and maybe 15, 18 minutes, but it's super quick. You could do a day trip or you can do a weekend trip. I wouldn't recommend more than like 3 days there, but.
Yeah, and then you've already heard us talk about Black Hawk and Cripple Creek, so we do have casinos here that are close by. There are rare occasions, usually we'll go up and stay for the day, but there is a rare occasion where, whether it's in the evening or in the morning, we decide to drive up, spend a couple hours there, and then we do drive back. It's really not a crazy deal. And then if you're doing that, then you can go see, again, you're driving through the mountains, so there's stops along the way. If you decided to get crazy and you wanted to piggyback like a whitewater rafting trip, you definitely could do that. Plan ahead though, you can't just go walk up and throw your raft in the water and start doing your thing. I mean, I'm sure you could.
I was gonna say, I bet you could.
It's a little dangerous to do that. But yes, there are so many places within a very short distance of Colorado, and places even in Colorado Springs where you're gonna go. We talked about Great Wolf Lodge not too long ago. You can literally drive there, again, depending on where you're at, anywhere between 5 and 30 minutes away, spend the day at the indoor water park, and then drive back to your house and not really pay for the hotel stay. Like, there is so many things to do in Colorado Springs for day trips.
Well, and you and I, we haven't done a lot of the hot springs. We've done
several.
We've done, I was thinking like local. So the one that's in, is it Manitou? The sun
yeah, there's
something. We have one here. We've done the ones in Glenwood Springs, which that's about a 4-hour drive. So probably not just a day trip, just because also I absolutely love Glenwood Springs. So I would make it like a weekend thing. They have several hot springs, but then there's Mount Princeton,
Indian Hot Springs.
The Indian Hot Springs. Strawberry.
There's so many hot springs.
Yes. And I would recommend, I mean, some of those you would probably want to spend like an overnight, but super affordable.
Well, and especially if you're not from the area. If you're planning to move to Colorado Springs and you want to create a bucket list of all these different ideas, some of these might be weekend trips.
Yeah.
It might just be better that way. Or if you're going to Pueblo Lake and you want to pull a long camper, or if you're like me and would sleep in the back of a truck with an air mattress, she doesn't like that so much, you could definitely make it a multi-day thing. But you could also just go up there, spend a couple hours, and then drive back.
Well, and what I love too is that, you know, Colorado Springs there's no denying it that we're expensive, right? Our food is higher, our gas is higher, our housing is higher. So that's just a given. It's in every single stinking study that you'll read. But what I do love too is that with even just like some of the things that we listed, some of those are completely free, you guys. Manitou Springs, you can go walk there and just walk around the little city and it's free. Bring your own water, bring a picnic and just enjoy it. Pueblo Lake may have like a day pass like for $5 or $10. I don't know, don't quote me on that. It's not expensive at all, super affordable. Garden of the Gods, free. You know, so there's so many things that you can do within inside of Colorado Springs and or just really like a really quick trip that don't have to cost an arm and a leg. But then there's also things that you can do, like you can go up to Aspen and you'll probably throw down $1,000 or go to Manitou, or not Manitou, but go to Black Hawk and go to the Krebs table. But that's kind of the cool thing, is that there's something to do for everybody and every budget.
Yeah, and we know that in certain places of the country, there aren't necessarily, again, you don't get the season, so you don't get to experience different things at different times of the year. And you can only do the same thing over and over again so many times before it gets boring. So I think that between the seasons that we have and the outdoor adventures that we have and the cost of things that are super cheap or free, it keeps it entertaining.
Yeah.
And you can just go do whatever it is that you want to do. And like we've said, we're both natives and there are so many things that we have yet to do in Colorado Springs. So if you have any fun ideas for us to go film for you, drop them in the comments below and we will be happy to get that done as soon as possible. Unless it's a winter activity, then you just have to wait until it's winter.
I was going to say, I would love to ask our viewers, because we have a bucket list of things that we're going to do this summer, especially because Preston's here all summer.
Stay tuned.
And I'm going to I'm going to get Kaylee away from her boyfriend or take her boyfriend with us so that way we can go explore. But give us some ideas of what, maybe you have Googled something, maybe you've heard of something, because now we're getting into a really good season of a lot of really good footage that we're going to be able to get for you guys. And so what would you like to see? What would you want more information on? Tell us below, comment below, send us a text, 719-238-1771. We're normally really good at responding really fast. We're always really good, but really fast.
Really good and really fast. All right, this last one is pretty interesting to me because it's so funny, and we as people are all victim of it, in my opinion. But we want something new, but then we complain about it when it's in development or when there's construction going on or when it's any slight inconvenience to us at all whatsoever, right? One of the great things about Colorado Springs is that it is the second largest city in Colorado. And we have I think we still do the small town vibe really well, but our development is getting to be insane, guys. We have talked about the amphitheater that came, was it just last year that we had it? It was just last year. But we have like a big time, not as big as some of them, not as big as Red Rocks, but I would say that it's a fairly decent sized live music venue here. And there are just so many things coming to Colorado Springs. If you asked me what to do in Colorado Springs 10 years ago, I mean, the list was limited unless we're talking about outdoor things, but we didn't have a lot of fun, whether it was adult or family style things to be able to do. But now, just in the last few years, we've gotten Top Golf, the go-kart place, what's that one called?
Overdrive,
iFly, which is like a simulated skydiving thing. There's Great Wolf Lodge, which we've talked about. I mean, there are...
Well, we have the Skies or the Vibes now. They change names like every other year, it feels like. But yes, sir.
Not every other year.
It's my story. I can tell however
she can say whatever she wants.
I mean, it feels like there's just... I mean,
we got the new stadium not too long ago. I'm trying to say is that it's a great mix of like mom and pop, still small town vibe. And for being the second biggest city, I mean, that's crazy that you can go pretty much anywhere in Colorado Springs and have like a mom and pop experience. But also, whether you want to call them corporate or chains or whatever, big time venues, it's a good mix of both.
Yeah.
Where you're still not, and I still don't feel like we're crazy populated. I mean, we have almost 500,000 people here in Colorado Springs, but I don't personally feel like we're living in this ginormous city. If you're driving in Colorado Springs for the most part, unless there's an accident on I-25 or there's construction where they close a lane down, you're not sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Yeah.
I was just in Denver. What were we doing in Denver? 5 miles an hour for 45
I was just going to say...
frustrating.
I was going to say that we're growing. It's very obvious that we're growing, right? But anytime that you want to get kind of like a reality check of what overdevelopment and way too many people looks like, go an hour and a half away to Denver. And because we were just there, we took our clients and we went under contract on a new build.
Oh yes, that's right.
So congratulations to our client. But going there, I mean, it's back to back traffic and it's so many people. You can't go. And that was on a Friday at 10 a.m.
It didn't matter.
8 to 5 people should have already been like at work, like.
We were driving back at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, it literally doesn't matter if you're driving through Denver, you're hitting bumper to bumper at 5 miles an hour, and then 30 minutes later, when you finally pass the traffic, nothing's there.
And it's just a good reminder. I mean, this is so silly, but we went to the gas station, and there's a million people there. And the older that I've gotten, the more that my anxiety just kind of like shines through in different situations. Probably should get medicated, but I haven't. But that's a whole other topic. But like just the amount of people in a gas station is so different than when you come to Colorado Springs and you go to a gas station. There's maybe like 2 to 4 people in there. You go somewhere else in Denver and there's like 20.
Yeah, and when you drive to the surrounding cities of Colorado Springs, it's the same thing. You're not going to get that crazy experience. Like driving to Fountain, you're not getting that. Driving to Peyton, you're not getting that. Driving to Pueblo, you're not getting that. Like the traffic routes everywhere else are very manageable. And keep in mind, all those cities I just mentioned are way less populated than Colorado Springs is, but you can get anywhere in town. Like I said, even all the construction that's going on right now, there are so many things because the infrastructure is expanding. It has to accommodate all of the people coming here. But even when you drive through construction zones in Colorado Springs, for the most part, you're going the speed limit. It's reduced probably 10 miles an hour because it's now a construction zone, but you're not sitting there going, why? Why is this happening? In Denver, there's no construction, there's no accident. You're bumper to bumper for 5 miles an hour for 30 minutes, and then you come to find out that nothing was even happening. That's just the way that it is down there.
Yeah. And I think that there's so many things. We say it all the time of that it's a big city with a small town feel. And I truly believe that. I think that even though we have grown and we're going to continue to grow, you guys, I mean, it's insane. There's so many permits right now for new development, big developments, smaller developments. We are getting a lot of what some would say affordable housing. There's a lot of new permits with like tiny homes and those being in a development. So it's going to continue to grow, but I love that we can go to our small town restaurant and we can always find a seat. You know, we don't have to wait. You maybe have to wait like 10 minutes for pretty much any place that you're going, unless you're going to a smaller establishment that's a little bit more high end and their big thing is customer service and they're not going to pack you in. But those are so far and few in between. Like it's still such a good mix of the growth versus like what we have here in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, well, so while some people think development is a bad thing and they don't want to deal with it, we are super excited for what it's going to bring to our local economy, as well as things to do in Colorado Springs. Because like I said, 10 years ago, I couldn't name a whole lot, but now the list has grown so much and we still have all those free things to be able to do because of our nature here. So that is another reason why we are staying here in Colorado Springs.
Well, we wouldn't be like really good real estate agents if we didn't tell you that growth also helps home value.
Crazy.
So, as you guys know, we are your local experts here in Colorado Springs area. If you have any questions, you would like to know more information about buying, if you're coming into town and you would like a little tour of our city, let us know. You know how to reach us, 719-238-1771.
So now you know a few reasons why Crystal and I are choosing to stay in Colorado Springs, and we're curious. Do you guys have any plans to move to Colorado Springs? Do you plan on visiting just for vacation?
Do you already live here?
Do you already live here? What are your thoughts on Colorado Springs as a whole? And could you see yourself here in the future? Let us know in the comments or text us. You know how to get a hold of us.
Thank you guys, as always, for listening to us tell you all about why we love Colorado Springs, and we will see you on the next one.